And we're live again, twice on the same day. Let's go. All right, so if anyone is still here from the last stream, they've not been doing much. I've been offline for a little bit, so um, yeah, we're going to be streaming the ENT tournament, and just going to get ready for all of that. Obviously, going to post the stream into the channels where they are. Yeah, live with Tub Cut and over here as well. Let's see where that is at. Who wants to watch? Now you can start. Just getting everything going with the tournament organizer, the players, everything, and yeah, they can go into the game. They can start. So Fresherl versus Kevin Malone versus Ken Duong. Not too sure. Players trying to figure out everything. Yeah, players really trying to figure out who their opponent is. Yeah, everybody's still pretty new in the server, so it seems like not able to really see the real names behind the usernames. Kind of struggling to get everything figured out, but I think um, people are getting ready, and we're gonna get to that feature match. So don't worry about it. We'll have a match shortly. Yeah, Mayberry. Uh, it's great. Thanks, man. Thanks a lot. And I'm really hoping these players are going to get the things sorted quickly because I'm not really too sure what's going on with this finding opponents type of stuff. Um, so hosting table 4. Seems like the match is underway though. Or did they go back to hosting? No, the match is underway. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out the first match. This is a matchup between one very spicy deck and one more standard deck, I would say. The tournament organizer has dubbed it DD Stun. And actually, no, it's the other player's the Well-Adapt player. Interesting. Alright, so maybe this is not the DD Stun deck then that I've been told about. Well, we'll have to just wait and see. So Crabbones is the play for Dart X, and or do we pronounce it darts? Let's pronounce it darts. It's a lot easier. But Fresherl setting that 4 back row. Crabon's going to connect anyway, though. That's a lot. Needs to have some sort of protection if there's going to be a heavy storm. Actually, it is. It is one of the DD stun decks. There are two in the top cut, actually. And I couldn't help myself but feature this one. We've seen so much Fire Turbo, Blackwing, Diva, Hero Beat, everything. And here's a Guardian Atos with a Macrocosmos. We don't see that every day. Definitely not in Edison top cut. And we have a match right here. This is definitely not what we saw in the HRC series. And that wasn't even for a lot of money. That was definitely just for €50 split between 3 players. And over here we have a PlayStation 5 grand prize. We have a lot of high-end stuff given away to Top Cut as well. This is definitely a 1K tournament. So yeah, the Exiled Force is being tributed. Mystical Space Typhoon on the Macrocosmos. Kraben's gonna go to the graveyard. Yeah, so that's actually quite clutch. Exiled Force still going to be banished. That was tributed. So the MST that is being chained does not negate Exiled Force going to the banished pile. Guardian Atos being dimensional prisoned. Is Fresh Earl going to be able to stop that with anything, or is that Guardian Atos going away? Yeah. I mean, and I have to say that it might not be my favorite deck to play against either, but the Dark Bribe is actually pretty big in this matchup. That deals a lot of damage with the Guardian Atos. I don't think I'd like to play against it, but featuring it, that's kind of fun though. So Brain Control taking over the Guardian Atos, going to probably try to swing in before doing something with it. I don't even know what its level is. It looks like it's a level 8. Yeah, count it really quickly. That's a level 8 monster. Tribute summoning over it. Coming out a Destiny Hero Malicious. A little bit smaller, but at least it gets rid of that Guardian Atos. Pumping out the Power Well. Fresh Earl has to read this card. Doesn't know what it does. Crabon's being summoned out and will be able to Synchro Summon into a level 8 if this sticks. And we'll actually have a Malicious after. Yeah, Dart's saying it's not a cost. If you negate it, yeah, then no damage coming through. Yeah, just reading for a second. Doesn't know the Powerball card. Might just not be familiar with this. Definitely with the DD stun deck, might not be that much of a standard thing for them. But yeah, drawing back to the third card now, equalized in cards, but definitely not in life points. Dardax already on that 2200. Thunder King attacked, and the Gore's coming out. Well, that's a big swing for this matchup. That Gore is going to be able to take out the Thunder King Ryo if there's no interaction with it. Yeah, this match kind of more difficult for me to predict. What's going to happen? I have the deck list, not really looking to spoil anything though for anyone, so definitely just going to try my best to think about what these decks usually can do. Summoning Plague Spreaders on me, pumped out another Malicious. It's going to maybe try to... Oh, and is taking over the Thunder King with the Mind Control. And the Torrential Tribute is already gone. Synchro Summoning for level 6. Can either be the Brionok or the Goyo Guardian. Well, if there's a Bottomless, that's possible, obviously. But, yeah. Yeah, we can do full screen. That's not an issue. We don't need to see the HRC top bar. Sure. Not too sure. The top cut bracket, I can check if he's playing in this tournament. And yeah. Let's see. I'd have to manually open Discord basically. So it's Squishy Bear versus Nick Dukes, James Johnson, who is I think James Ark, versus Cesar Picardo, Jonas Sigmund versus Faffy Toast, and Ken Duong, which we are watching, versus Kevin Malone. And I do have the breakdown. So there's 2 DD stuns like the deck we just saw with the Macrocosmos. They are playing the exact same list, I think. Might not be entirely sure. Then second after Swiss was a Diva Hero deck. True Hero bubbled this one, got 9th. So this is played by Jonas Sigmund. Kevin Duong, third after Swiss, is this Welladad type style deck. Then it seems like fourth after Swiss, Cesar Picardo is on a Synchrocat list. And then we have James on Blackwing. And so the 6th list is another DD stun. 7th place Faffy Toast is on the Gemini deck. So that one with the Reinforced Truth and the Gemini soldiers and all of that. And then Squishy Bear is rounding out the top 8 with a Vayu Turbo list. So definitely very, very different from what we just saw in the top cut. Yeah, it's some sort of anti-meta deck. And there is yet another player playing a similar deck to this. I'm not too sure if it's entirely the same build. I think so, but yeah. I just jumped into this. I'm not too sure how many players joined the tournament. I've been hosting my own throughout the weekend, so just try to get all the information about pricing and get the information about the top cut decks and the players. But other than that, not too sure what exactly happened before this. I can say so that the first player will be getting a PlayStation 5. The second player will be getting a first edition Elemental Hero Gaia Secret Rare. Let's see what the third player gets again, if I can find the list. Yeah, third player is an Ulti Malicious Edge, seems on them. Fourth is an Ulti Pulling the Rug, and 5 to 8 get a Ghost Dark Arm Dragon. Every member of top 8 will get a match showing their finish, and the first place will get a trophy. So quite a bit coming out there. 45 players. Alright, thanks for that, Mythbiff. Yeah, you never know. It's not really something that is too popular in the Edison scene that I've seen. It's mostly seen as a lower tier deck, but the Xing Sen Ho is definitely something that I'm more often seeing in the GOAT format, and not really in Edison format, but yeah, this is going to stop a few cards from being activated. And Thunder King Ryo coming down is going to try to run over that Krebons, I think, but that card can protect itself even without trap cards, so just has to pay the 800 life points to negate the attack. Yeah, definitely GOAT technology. Oh, Gravekeeper Spy being flipped. Going to special summon one from the deck. And 2 Gravekeeper Spy gonna be able to run over that Krebons. Going to have to negate 3 times if he wants to keep this Krebons. And decides to do so for 2, so probably going to do it for a third too. So that's still taking 2400 life points of damage. And if they decide to Synchro Summon with this Krebons, then it will be able to be taken out with the Thunder King if Threshold chooses to do so. Might still just have a back row to deal with it cleanly too, just to keep up the pressure. The Zing has been locking down 2 of the back rows, 4 darts, so that definitely hurts quite a bit and makes it so that not much interaction is possible until that trap card is dealt with. A Mystical Space Typhoon or a Dust Tornado will do it. A Phoenix Wing Blast, the same. So banishing a Dark Graphic to top deck to Zing, but the Dark Bribe is going to make sure that doesn't come through all the set cards now for darts are shut off. We know which ones. You probably already saw it, but I was checking the prices, so I wasn't paying too much attention to the game for half a minute there. But now I know which ones are being locked down by the Zing. And yeah, definitely, if those traps or spells need to be live, then that thing needs to be dealt with. But the Crabons is going to tune with the Thunder King, and since there's no back row for Fresh, darts can actually go ahead and synchro summon freely. That synchro will not be negated, the brain control taking that Thunder King over to prevent that. And that's going to be great for them, because now they're going to be able to swing this game back around. Summoning the Stratos will be able to deal with both the Gravekeeper spies. I think that Goyo Guardian does destroy it and send it to the graveyard, and since it's not sent to the graveyard, can't actually special summon it out. But I'm not too sure if this is the correct errata. I'm not too sure about how this worked back in 2010, but it seems like it won't be able to be taken over, and yeah, they're not going to do it here. Ah, yes, you can send this face-up card to the graveyard. Alright. I thought it was Tribute for some reason, but that's just Exiled Force. We'll be able to get rid of the Goyo Guardian cleanly, but it doesn't relieve all the pressure. This Stratos can still push a ton of damage through. And apparently one of these players, Fresh Earl, is playing the DD Stun, does have a YCS top. That's pretty cool. This Goblin Zombie is going to mill one card, but since it's sent from the deck to the graveyard, I'm not too sure how that is ruled. I don't have a lot of experience with this Dimensional Fissure Macrocosmos type of stuff. But yeah, it's a trap card that is going to go to the graveyard in this case. DD Survivor being summoned can run over the Goblin Zombie here. Both sets are locked, so won't be able to activate those. Banished Goblin Zombie needs to be sent to the graveyard for its effect to activate. So yeah, this deck does great over these Recruiter decks. But it's not a complete zombie deck like we're used to seeing, but it's the Well-A-Dead version, so it has a little bit more of an ability to play around this, I guess. But if the Stratos runs into the DD Survivor here, then the DD Survivor will just come back, while the Stratos will just remain banished. So this looks good for Fresh Earl if they can keep it this way, but there are some scenarios where DD Survivor does not come back. Armageddon Knight gonna send a card from the deck, a monster from the deck to the graveyard. I don't think that works, because you can't do that in a scenario. Or does it just get banished? I guess it just gets banished then. Stratos going to attack into the DD Survivor, wants to pressure Threshold, wants to push that damage. 1400 onto the face. Brain Control's already gone. Needs to top deck something like Mind Control, or have something else to really push over this DD Survivor. But Fresh not really setting any more cards. Another Dimensional Fissure being activated. That's great against the Mystical Space Typhoon, but kind of terrible against the Heavy Storm. So needs to have something else to set. Sets another monster, so any monster take for that DD Survivor not going to be able to push the damage that's needed. Darts setting a card of their own. This might just be a monster that ends up dying and going to the banish zone. That's definitely going to be an issue for them. Exiled Force again, going to tribute it. Now Fresh has a 2-turn clock with that DD Survivor. Darts only needs one connection with a 1500 attack monster though. So might be able to do something in the backswing on this turn. But yeah, this is a very crucial turn. Might just lose the game here and go for a deciding game. Yeah, gonna have to wait and see if Darts has anything to pull out. Sets another card though, and another monster. So now one back row is live. The thing still locking down the middle card and the one closest to the deck. Bubble Man. Oh yeah, Bubble Man being used in this deck, that can definitely come in clutch in the top decking war, but not the situation you want it in now. It's kind of just a dead card. Darts really still needs something to interact with this DD Survivor. Banishing it, not really what you want to see. And yeah, sets another back row. Hopefully for them, something to interact with this DD Survivor. Activates MST on the battle phase. Will then be able to activate the other two sets. And we'll be able to activate them now. No Dark Bribe again. And oh, that did not end up mattering. The other two sets did not interact with the Survivor. So this game is over. Going to Fresh Earl, and now we're going to a game 3. And it's going to be the decider for both of these players. A lot on the line for both of them. Both probably just want to win this tournament, get that fresh PlayStation 5 for them to play lots of great games on, or whatever they want to do with it. Yeah, it's definitely the better prize for everyone than Ghost Dark Arm Dragon. Obviously still great prize for getting that top 8, and obviously get the great top cut mat where they can represent that they've come into tops into this tournament. So great prizes all around, but the eye is definitely on the PlayStation 5. So Darts was really quick in siding. Probably already knows what they want to side against this DD Stun deck. Fresh Earl still take him some time. Not too familiar with the power well before. Might be considering what to do now going second. Might not side in all the cards that they did before. Might try to swap some things around. But now decided on what to do. And yeah, we're going to go to the final game for this match, and Dart's going to be able to start this one off. So let's see if that yeah, can show some explosiveness. I've heard before that this deck, or this player maybe even, was really able to do an OTK line turn 2 onto other players in this tournament before. So it would be great to just see that going on, because that's always super exciting. But now it's the opposite's true. It's a mirrored situation where Darts actually sets for able to special that Bubble Man because the only card in hand summons the Goyo Guardian, but the next out force can just get rid of that. Needs to keep that in mind, but has to trap Dust Shoot. Able to see the entire hand for Fresh Earl, being able to avoid everything that's in the hand, know what the opponent is going to play, know what to respond to. Very, very strong. Darts couldn't really have opened a lot better than this. Able to summon a really strong monster, maybe shuffle away an exiled force if needed, and solidify their position. Macrocosmos and Dimensional Prison are Dimensional Fissure are very important for Fresh Earl's strategy, but it doesn't interact with the board if they don't have any other cards to do so. So these things like Dark Bribe, these things like Dimensional Fissure, Macrocosmos, they can brick you. It can be detrimental for your strategy if you draw too much of these. So let's see if that's actually the situation. Haven't seen Darts writing yet. Not sure if in this tournament it is allowed, like in the other tournaments, to write into the chat what was in the hand of the other player. All 3 spell traps are going to the graveyard. That's pretty big. Card advantage now for the Fresh Earl. Has 3 cards over 0. That's immense. And just like that, the situation's reversed. 1300, not enough. chooses to discard the wing blast for some reason. Now goes to set it. That's not really what you want to top deck, because that's going to need an additional card. Can't interact with that Thunder King. Situation looks rather dire for Darts all of a sudden. Really did not see the greatest of outcomes in this game 3, and that can cost them the top 4 spot. Yeah, Fresh Earl just decides to push the damage, sets their own back row. Yeah, don't see a lot of things that Darts can do. Can obviously special summon Krablan's back with the Power Well, but then needs something like a Brain Control or a Mind Control to take over the Thunder King to Synchro Summon with it again, or it will get outed by the Thunder King. But with 3 back row, it's definitely possible that one of those cards will get stopped by something like a Dark Bribe. We've seen that before in the strategy, and they might still be on it, so yeah. A very big possibility Fresh is just going to take this game and move on to the top 4. Sets one back into the monster zone and passes the turn. So is Fresh able to draw another monster, summon it out? Yes, Gravekeeper Spy going to really try to go for that lethal. Attacks with the 1800 attack monster though. Discards Phoenix Wing Wind Blast to activate Phoenix Wing. Shuffling the Thunder King back onto the top of the deck. No Dark Bribe. The Goblin Zombie is going to be able to search out a card. And since there's only going to be 1200 damage, is going to be doing something with a Zombie Master. Summoning something back. But no other zombies in the graveyard that are tuners. It's just the Goblin Zombie. So not too sure what they're going to try to do with it. Can try to attack the Goblin Zombie into the Gravekeeper Spy. But then has to get through all this back row. Get the Zombie Master off. Get a Plague Spreader Zombie onto the board. That's going to be super difficult to even get off. Goyo Guardian already gone, needs to Synchro Summon something like a Gaia or a Brionac. Both not too great. Yeah, any interaction with that is just a game. So yeah, Darts does decide to go with the Zombie Master. Thinking on what to do. Discarding the Krabans. That's kind of sad. Yeah, going for this Goblin Zombie into defense mode. But yeah, this Goblin Zombie is just going to die to the Thunder King. Not going to be able to add anything. This is just a survival and not a winner's line. So yeah, not going to work. And the Sakuretsu armor is going to make sure that Fresh Earl is going to top 4. Darts loses the match, and we have our first semi-finalist. Alright, so that was the first match. Let's see all the other players. Who of them is still playing? I do have some of the names in the in a pin, so let me check it out. I think Fafitos was on an interesting deck, but I don't see their username here. I'm just gonna go down the line. No Luck Extreme either. Saitama, no. Sanakan, no, can't find them either. No Nicholas either. So I think this this top cut might just be finished already. Going to top 4. I'll have to ask the host, but I'm pretty sure that all the games are already done, or I'm not really seeing correctly. That's possible too. Yeah, definitely got a show here. Yeah, can't find anyone. So yeah, just coordinating with the organization to see if all the matches are already done, or if we can find one more. Yeah, yeah, I think so too. But the organizer said one more is going on, so I'm just going to make sure, and I think we can just move on to top four, right? Um, would definitely love to just keep it going and keep this energy for all the next matches as well. So yeah, TG stun or DD stun, sorry, DD stun, TG stun, something that keeps popping into my head from all the Tengu Plant that I've been playing, but now it's DD stun in this situation. It's nothing much. You can see it. I don't think. No, no, no. It's our War League deck. I'm not gonna show it. I'm not gonna show it. Can't leak the War League decks on stream. Might still have to play it later on. I'm not in this round, but might have to play it later on. So keeping it for now. Keeping it secret for now. I think it's just it's not it is very close to regular hero beat and then just some changes. It's not Diva hero beat. So yeah, while they're going on, I'm just gonna spectate Cold Madness. Cold Madness, one of my teammates um, from Team Get Rugged, playing against the Frog matchup. He's playing Via Turbo. Definitely on Via Turbo a lot. It's Tragodia activating their effect, discarding a Vanity's Fiend to get that Armswing onto their own side of the board. Yeah, that's going to be pretty strong. Cold Madness can't really do much against that. It's still 1800 attack points too. Can't just run over this Vayu and this Armageddon Knight with the Tragodia and the Armswing. The Plague Spreader can't come out of the graveyard because the Royal Oppression is face up. So has to have something like a Sirocco to attack over his Armswing. And then can actually push a lot of damage. It's going to be 2k over it. And we'll be able to summon out an Armor Master in that case. Yeah. I'm ready. So Caesar versus Squishy can start. I'm just spectating another match because you know we didn't have anything to spectate at this time, but yeah, definitely interested to see what the other player is going to be doing. Hopefully they already hosted. I'm gonna go out of here and try to get those players. So Squishy, not yet. Yeah, so Squishy said they hosted. I'm going to and Pichardo also hosted. I'm gonna click on Pichardo so we can watch this thing. Just waiting for the players to accept each other and then we can watch this match. I'm not too sure what they both are playing. Going into this blind, but very curious to see what this match is going to be. I've seen a lot of spicy deck lists, so I'm very excited to see what this match is going to be. Semi-finals, winner of this match going on to win at least an Elemental Hero Gaia First Edition or a PlayStation 5. So both are super great. Both players wishing each other good luck, very sportsmanlike. Not everyone does this, wanting to win by themselves. Pichardo just setting one monster. So yeah, definitely possible that doesn't have back row or just doesn't want to set it. Yeah, Armageddon Knight coming out for Sanakon, dumping the Plague Spreader Zombie, definitely a strong card to have in the graveyard, and as options already, Raikou milling that Pot of Avarice first, MST and Mirror Force, not really sure yet what Pichardo is on, but yeah, Sanakon might be the player who is on the Vayu Turbo, not exactly sure, but yeah, Armageddon Knight, not really a card used in a lot of strategies. Alright, so yeah, definitely drop it, and let's hope that Sanakon can win this one. Trap does shoot, shuffling back the Gale. Actually, I think Pichardo might be the one on Synchro Cat. Because there was a Synchro Cat list in Top Cut as well. Raikou is definitely something that is in that strategy, and Gale. It might also just be the Vayu Turbo deck, but I think that's definitely Sanakon with Sirocco, Armageddon Knight, and Plague Spreader Zombie dumping the Vayu. Definitely the one of Vayu Turbo list. Yeah, Pichardo won against James, who was on the Blackwing deck, so does need to have a very strong deck to be able to win against something as solid as Blackwing. And James is not a run-of-the-mill player either. Yes, there's a Rescue Cat. I remembered it correctly, so at least one X-Saber monster going to be coming out, probably a Raikou. Going to Synchro Summon 4 or 5, because can't run over that Dark Refer very well unless they have something to take it over. Might be the case since they are going for the double Airbellum. Yes, going for the X-Saber, for the Mind Control on the Dark Refer, can discard 2 cards with the Airbellum, and I can definitely see how something like this could also end up destroying a Blackwing deck if they can't interact with 2 Airbellum. Discarding 2 cards is very detrimental to the strategy. Even though Vayu Turbo wants to discard cards into the graveyard, you're never happy when your opponents get to choose, and definitely not if it's a Brain Control. Holy hell, that's big. That's big. Other Airbellum now going to rip yet another card. And this Dark Refer is going to be Synchro Summoned and Dark Armed Dragon. Wow, that is big. Could have specialed this Dark Armed Dragon next turn, because the Vayu with the Sirocco gets out the Armed Wing. Then Dark Refer, Armageddon Knight, Plague Spreader Zombies, exactly 3 Darks for the Dark Armed Dragon. These power cards both taken out of the deck, taken out of the hand for Sanakon, and that is super big. Pichardo on 6 cards, now 5 into 1, now 2 for Sanakon. This is an uphill battle, just 4,800 life points, not deciding to summon out the Armed Wing. Obviously the Black Rose Dragon can just run over it. Now actually the effects are not negated. During Edison format, Rescue Cat did not negate the effect of these X-Saber monsters. That is something that came later with the errata. And attacking into the hamster, that is at least a good way for Sanakon to start getting back into this game. Summons out the Raikou, won't be able to discard with the 3rd Airbellum, the final card in Sanakon's hand. This Raikou can take out something, maybe like the Black Rose Dragon, so the Armed Wing can come out. And yeah, tie up the card advantage just a little bit more on Sanakon's side, because gonna draw to the 2nd card and can summon out the 3rd card from the graveyard here with the Vayu effect. So definitely clawing their way back into this game. If this Armed Wing cannot be dealt with, that's even going to be better still. But is there nothing in the back row? There's no Boundless. Book of Moon is going to set this Armed Wing. But if the Airbellum attack does not connect, this Armed Wing is going to have their effect again because they forget that they are summoned by the effect of a Vayu. So yeah, that can come up if Pichardo sets anything later on. Well, let's see if they don't just summon another monster and swing in with both into this Armed Wing, making sure that it dies. Ooh, and there's a Cold Wave. Well, that makes sure that the back row for Sandakan cannot be activated. They also can't set any spell or traps this turn. Nor can Sandakan do that in the following turn. So this Armed Wing is just going to be banished. 1000 damage, going down to 1400 life points. Can't activate the back row. Can't set another back row. Has the summoner set a monster to defend their life points probably. Even if this set is something, yeah, does end up doing that. And now, yeah, Pichardo has to decide what they're going to do. Attacks with the Caius into the set. Dimensional Prison going to banish it. So no more card advantage for Pichardo here. Has 3 cards. And the opponent's going to draw the 3 cards. Sandakan, great job equalizing. That Cold Wave was just a -1. Wasn't able to push enough damage to attack for game. And in those situations, the Cold Wave, it just isn't doing it all that well for Pichardo. Yeah, so Sandakan does feel like they're back into the game. Interesting to see what this set monster is. Might be a Vayu, might be a Raikou, something like that. A Necrogardna if they play it. And yeah, you don't really want the Raikou into attack mode, so really need to top deck something like a Caius to tribute over it, or a Sirocco. Otherwise, just going to keep it set like this. But yeah, can be punished if this set for Pichardo is their own Raikou. Also, if this is a Gravekeeper Spy, could summon out a Descendant to pop some of these monsters or the back row and gain some more advantage that way. So definitely something Sandakan should be mindful of, because the cat deck does run those cards. So let's see what Pichardo does here. Is this the Gravekeeper Spy to summon out that Gravekeeper's Descendant or not? Or is this perhaps a Raikou just to straight up destroy something and perhaps tribute someone over? Pichardo does not have the issue of Raikou in attack mode. 6300 is still great life total. That's an even better one. Super Nimble Mega Hamster summoning a Raikou. Activating Torrential Tribute. Knows their ruling super well. Both the Raikou and the Gardna go into the graveyard. And that Super Nimble Mega Hamster is still able to summon out a Raikou from the deck after the Torrential Tribute resolved, because the hamster is Chainlink 1, Torrential's Chainlink 2. Raikou still comes out in defense position, doesn't go to the graveyard for that reason. And yeah, definitely able to gain some more card advantage this way, or at least, maybe not advantage, but at least gain the board position and make sure that both sets are gone, and can now call off the hunt of the monster to try to attack for game. Does know about the Necrogardna in the graveyard, so that can stop one attack if this back row doesn't do it. But Mirror Force is going to take care of this X-Saber Airbellum, and yeah, that's going to go to the graveyard, obviously. So now Pichardo has kind of a face-up situation with the Raikou. We know that it's there. Sandakan has to decide what to do about that, if they're going to attack into it or not. Decides not to do anything with both cards in the hand. They appear to be dead. Probably not a Sirocco, because that is a summonable in this situation. Burial's activatable too. I'm thinking about what cards could be dead in the hand at this point. Like most spells or traps, you just able to set. Most monsters you're just able to summon. Maybe something like a Caius the Shadow Monarch. Definitely something that can be stuck in your hand if you have no monsters. Setting a monster so that the Raikou can... Setting a spell trap, sorry, so that the Raikou can be flipped. Losing that to the Raikou, but actually able to MST the back row. That Royal Oppression. That's an... What? That's an interesting spot. Royal Oppression in the cat deck. The deck that special summons... a whole bunch, and Sanacan plays a deck. Ooh, Gorse. It was Gorse. Maybe it's also Caius, but definitely also Gorse. Alright. So that was stuck in the hand. So good to know. That 200 damage is going to bite Pichardo a little bit. Not really the right move, perhaps. Yeah, definitely, Alex. Definitely all possible. I don't think it really matters though. All right, so this the Smashing Ground took care of the Gorse. There was no Caius in the hand because no tribute summon over the token. Setting a monster, setting a back row. Didn't want to set the back row earlier because of that Gorse. Summoning the guild, that is judgmented. Alright, so going to lose 600 life points. Really wants to keep this monster around. That is set here. Not really sure what the set is in that case. But we... Oh, it's a Vayu. Tributes the Caius. Targets the bottomless Trapple. Alright, so that's going to stop it. No monster to be able to be summoned for Sanacan. That's just bear with the 600 life points. And now going to be able to activate that Necro Guard. Now stopping the 1000 damage coming in from the Sangan. A very, very clutch situation. Yeah. Has one set now. Yeah. Does play around both bottomless and torrential. Sangan attacking over the Vayu again, but there's still no Sirocco in the graveyard, so needs to top deck something to be able to do something. Goes for the Blind Allure, knows that the game is lost if there's nothing to be used. Is there a Dark to be banished? Yes, a Gale. Setting another monster in defense position. Might be something like a Hamster or a Raikou. That will be clutch for them. Still one Raikou in a deck. If there's a charge, probably not a second Hamster, but definitely could be one in the deck still. Some people play two Hamsters, some people don't. Raikou going to destroy the back row. Milling 3 more cards. Is the Sirocco in there? Yes, the Sirocco in the mill. That's going to be great for Sanacan. Able to come back with that. Just the Sangan and the set monster. No back row for Pichardo. Now has to fear the Armed Wing on the backswing. Has also milled a lot of cards already, but no brain control, so that might be the card still stuck in hand. Armed Wing is going to swing over the set monster. That's a dangerous play. These Raikous, there's still one in the deck. Could have been very detrimental for this Armed Wing, but obviously could then go for the Armor Master though. Maybe that was the play. Maybe that was the reasoning behind the play. So yeah, very heads up in that case. But it was just a Summoner Monk that couldn't summon out the Rescue Cat anymore. Sangan going into defense mode. Pichardo holding on to 2 cards. Might have their own Gorse in their hand. Because not setting anything else. No Tribute Summon of Caius, and we've seen one already, or did we see 2? I know we've seen one already. Yeah, that's banished. Plague Spreader Zombie going to be used. Summon out something like a Stardust, Dot Ruler, Colossal Fighter, Dark End Dragon. All big possibilities. But also able to use that Vayu in the graveyard to summon an Armor Master. Stardust is great, but if there is a Gorse on the backswing, then Dark End Dragon would have been a way better pick to mitigate incoming damage. does decide to attack just over that Sangan and will be able to attack for 2500 directly. But does Pichardo have the Gorse in the hand to be able to drop onto this 2500 damage? Because that would cleanly out these Stardust and Armor Master, and that would put Sanakin right back on the defensive where they were before. Yeah, going for the Gorse, and that's definitely something to keep in mind. You just use it yourself. The Dark End Dragon would have dealt with it, would have dealt with the 2700 attack Gorse. Now both of your monsters can cleanly be outed if there's no interaction. Mirror Force Torrential already gone, One Dimensional Prison already gone. This might be a bottomless trap hole. In that case, that pressure is going to just destroy you, and if not, if it's a dimensional prison, can only deal with one of these. And brain control, yes, this is just going to be lethal though. No way to interact with all of it because there's a mirror force there. Yeah, it's just your day, Sanakin says. Alright, well, could have played around it though, Sanakin. If you had the made the Dark End, you could have just outed this Gorse. Just keep one 2500 monster onto their field. If you then have any interaction from your own side, then all you can do is trade a monster into yours, and that would have stayed alive because the Dark End Dragon crucially would go down to 2100. So even if the Armor Master attacks over it, then that's still not lethal. On the other hand, well, I'm saying that a Dark End can just send it to the graveyard and attack for game. So that doesn't really work either. I guess Brain Control was always lethal, but this Gorge was preventable. And both players siding. I'm thinking that Pichardo should definitely take this Royal Oppression out of the main deck. It's not too good in the main deck at all usually already, because you special summon so much that Royal Oppression could stop, and it's definitely not good versus the Fire Turbo matchup. I would say that it's actually something for Sanacan to board in versus this deck, because it stops so much cards from Pichardo. So let's see if that's going to come in anyway. Also a really strong side deck card that they could run if they have this Deck Devastation Virus. That Hamster and Raikou and Gravekeeper Spies and Summoner Monk, Sangan, stuff like that all just die to the Deck Devastation Virus. Rescue Cat as well. It's a really big part of the deck, so it's something that Sanacan can use to really destroy all Pichardo's options, and they'd have to play from behind. But you need to see it, you need to draw it, you need to side it if you are going to favor yourself in this matchup as much. So for Sanacan, one monster set, 2 back rows, trap dust shoot, that's what you want to see. See the entire hand of your opponent. Pichardo not too happy about that, probably has something strong in their hand like a Rescue Cat. Or like Heavy Storm Rescue Cat wanted to really push that damage through, really push a lot of cards from Sanacan's hand into the graveyard, but likely not able to do so. Let's see if Sanacan writes down the hand for Pichardo. Sangan going back into the deck. Alright, doesn't sound that doesn't sound that broken of a hand. Not too sure why Pichardo was so bent out of shape about this one. Maybe just saw Trap Dust shoot too often by his opponents. Yeah, just shuffling it back into the deck. Let's see what Pichardo can do here. Might not have a monster in this case, obviously. That's a possibility. Going for the Soul Exchange. Tribute summoning a Caius. Going to banish that back row. Very good 2 for 2 in this situation. Sad for them probably that they couldn't banish the Vayu instead, but yeah, no battle phase. Knew about that. Spacing the back row. Able to trade well into this Caius with the Gale. Cleanly outed. 100 damage over after having the Caius. And yeah, pass play right back to Pichardo. Real cool back and forth in this game. Love to see this more than a real blowout like it was last game with Sanican trying to hold on. But yeah. And setting it on another monster, probably something like a Raikou or a Hamster. Set the value before, but usually want to set something like Hamster Raikou, so you can be able to summon out a Caius later on. And get some advantage by popping spells or traps. Hits the Solemn Judgment, that is big, but mills a Raikou, a Hamster, and a Bottomless Trapple, not what you want to see. Synchro summoning a level 5 goes for either Android or Catastor here. Yes, does do the Catastor. Might have the deck Devastation Virus that I talked about, because pushing this is quite a lot. No, does not have it. Catastor going to the graveyard, setting a monster, and passing the turn. 2 Raikous already gone. Might be a third one, but less likely now. Pichardo doesn't do anything. Kind of telegraphing Gorz in this way. Sirocco going to attack in. Gorz probably going to be dropped here. If it's in the hand for Pichardo. Not this time. 3 dead cards. That's quite a lot though. Yeah. Obviously Sanican knows a lot of the hand of Pichardo. We don't know what's in there though. Didn't write it down. Still passing turn. Well, needs to have drawn the Gorz now. Ooh. Oh, and Charge of the Light Brigade mills the last Raikou. If there's no Lila in the deck, then there's nothing to be done with that. Charge just resolves with no search. That's a -1. And that is very, very sad for Sanican. Yeah, all 3 Raikous in the graveyard. This ends up happening sometimes. A little sad, but yeah, still a good spot for Sanican. Might just be able to close out this game if they have another monster. Card Trooper being summoned, yeah. And Pichardo quickly scoops it up. And we're going to another deciding game for the semi-final. Deciding who is going to battle for that PlayStation 5. The grand prize. And obviously the champion mat and the trophy. Can't forget about all those awesome prizes that the winners of this tournament is going to get. But yeah, let's see who's going to win this game first and move on to that finals. Pichardo still thinking a little bit about their side deck choices, while Sanican's already done. Probably knows exactly what they want to side in this matchup. Might be a little bit more experienced in the format. Not too sure about it because both nicknames aren't too familiar for me. But yeah, a lot of new players coming in. Lots of different communities as well. So these guys might definitely be super well known in their own community for Edison, and just not cross over into the Discords where I'm most familiar with. So Pichardo really taking their time for this side decking process. So we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for this game 3 to commence. Let's take a little bit of time and ask the chat, what do you guys think about this match? Who is going to take it? Pichardo is going first with the cat deck. Traditionally not the strongest deck. Via Turbo usually one of the more stronger decks, but is going second. What do you guys think is going to be the deck heading to the finals? And Pichardo having some issues with the dueling book. Sanican telling to refresh. Yeah, just refresh the page with the F5 button, or just a regular browser refresh. Yeah, seems to be working because the refresh does put the clock on, and that is what happens when you refresh. Hopefully, Pichardo able to come back soon enough. Yeah, there we are. And Mythbiff predicting that Vayu is going to be the winner. I'm a Vayu enthusiast myself, but I'm not going to be biased here. Not going to pick either of these players because I think that both have been playing rather well. Maybe some mistakes here or there, but they've had a long tournament. Obviously, it is the semifinals. They are being streamed. Can definitely understand some nerves. Maybe making a misplay here or there. But yeah, overall, not really been seeing like used throws or bad games. So I'm really excited for both these players to move on to the finals. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Alex. Perhaps, maybe not. All right, so Chardo going first. Let's see if they have a good play for this first turn. Setting a monster, so that might be one of the Gravekeeper cards. Hamster or Raiko has their own trap dust shoot now in the game 3, so definitely feeling a lot better than the first game where the trap dust shoot was used on them. Haven't seen anyone really write down the hand in the chat, so perhaps that's not really a thing in this tournament. Maybe that's not allowed. Um, Going to hopefully see what is shuffled back at least, though. And Pichardo really taking their time, studying the opponent's hand, deciding what's best to shuffle into the deck. Fire Turbo usually can get some monster heavy hands. They have something like a Dark Grepher with something that's good to discard, or an Armageddon Knight, or maybe even like something like a Raiko or a Hamster might be considerable to shuffle back. But they go with the Scirocco. Doesn't want to see that run over the set monster. Probably not a Gravekeeper Spy then, because that just is left on the board. Gale coming down, attacking over the set monster. It is a Raiko. Yeah, so going to pop that. Yes, didn't want the Scirocco to go to the graveyard, because that would just be a good situation for Sanican to have half the Armed Wing in the graveyard already. And 18 minutes left in the round. All right, so these players still have some time. They haven't been taking too much time in the first 2 rounds, but they need to keep into consideration that time can play a factor in this. If this game does go long, that might be coming up. But for now, they can just keep playing like they're used to, and both aren't too long thinking. So matches are moving along quite nicely. And Pichardo is flipping another Raiko, so really been seeing all those Raikos to destroy set cards. The Raiko from Sanican being destroyed, that's really good for Pichardo. Yeah, not having those mills go off, not having the destruction effect go off, definitely setting Sanican back here a bit. So the Rescue Cat deck definitely in a strong position here. Setting another monster might be a Gravekeeper this time, or just a Hamster or Raiko. The third Raiko would be crazy if they have that. And more and more sets from Sanican. Heavy Storm would be a blowout if there's no protection against it. So Sanican needs to keep that in mind, that those sorts of things happen, and we've seen this before from the DD Stun deck with the Heavy Storm into 3 back row, just clearing out the game. Gale now being summoned from Pichardo's side might be doing the same thing that we saw Sanican do the game earlier. Opts not to, is going to attack with either the Gale or the Raikou over the set monster. Uses Dimensional Prison, gets rid of this Gale, not able to tune with it. Does Pichardo have a Trap Stun? No, not, at least not deciding to use it. And it's the Necrogardna. Alright, so that's going to be 1100 damage on the side of Pichardo. But do they have something set to use on this? Is there another Raikou to pop something? And do they want to flip it in that case? Because the Necrogardna can just attack over these Raikous. And you don't really want to pop it as a set. So, yeah. Decides to keep the Necrogardna in defense. Wants to be able to use it later on to stop attacks. Wants to stop this Raikou from attacking again. So, doesn't want to test the back rows for Pichardo. Just taking the game a little bit slow, setting 5, not leaving a slot open for any spell cards to use. So yeah, that's that's going to be a rather grindy game like this, if we can expect it, because there's not a lot of action going on. There's a lot of patience going on here between both players, and perhaps that grind game is going to be coming here, and that would mean that they are going to have to think about time at certain point. Bombless being used on the Airbellum, and that gets rid of that. A Card Trooper for Sanacan, that's really good. Going to use the effect Mill 3 for cost. Does mill the break control, that's not really what you want to see. Plague Spread in the Grave is totally great. Attacking the set monster, that was the Summoner Monk. Doesn't have a spell to summon out that Rescue Cat. Sad for Pichardo. With 3 cards in hand, you would think that using the Summoner Monk would be able to, but doesn't decide to keep it in hand for that situation. Kind of interesting to see. And yeah, X-Saber Airbellum able to attack over either of these monsters, but won't be able to discard a card. There's no card in hand, and it would have needed to be a direct attack anyway, but the Airbellum is going to be banished regardless with this Dimensional Prison. And so Sanacan is just able to use the Card Trooper's effect again, able to fill up that graveyard, going a little bit better now, dumping the Sirocco, no Vayu yet, but this can create them some card advantage. If Vayus and Sirocco start flying into the graveyard, Raikou gone, no more monsters for Pichardo, doesn't really have defense. If there's no more monsters, this Card Trooper might be able to connect for 1900, and that can do a lot for his deck. But there is a Pot of Avarice, so able to shuffle back 5 cards. Sanacan thinking about it, but other than Solemn Judgment, usually not a lot of things to be interacted with this. We know about Transmigration Prophecy from earlier, but nobody has used it yet. Haven't seen it from the side decks yet, but it's you can never count it out, obviously. But is able to use the Pot of Avarice. So shuffle back a Raikou, Vanity's Fiend, Gores. Can now choose 2 more. Needs to leave 1 in a graveyard. Interested to see what that card is going to be. Do they want to keep the Summoner Monk in the deck? Yes. Going to shuffle it back. Not really sure why they set it in that case. If they want to use it later on. But yeah, that is what the situation is. And now it's 6 versus 6 again. And hoping for Pichardo that they do have a monster to summon, because this Card Trooper can just keep pushing damage otherwise. Heavy Storm activated for Pichardo. Solemn Judgment in response. Taking half their life points, that's not enough. Needs to take 500 more. Hopefully the players will see this. Otherwise, I'm going to send a message. No. So the players didn't see it. Only lost 3,400, down to 4,400. That's 1,000 too much. And there we go, 500 more. Yes, thank you very much. Card Trooper being able to activate again. And this is a good mill. 2 values, Sirocco already in the graveyard. Can go for Armed Wing. Raiko being flipped, targeting the monster. Now that is the Summoner Monk again, throws it away for the second time. I'm just not too sure about this play. The fact that this Raiko is targeting monsters, also not... But this Heavy Storm is set. Is Pichardo now going to do something else as well? Or no, going to let it go through. Alright, so an Armed Wing's going to be able to come out. And that's a lot of damage able to be pushed because 2100 already on the board in attack mode, 2300 being able to come out. That's 4400 with the Necrogardna is 5000, and with this is actually 6300. Not exactly lethal, I think, if I calculated this correctly. Might not have. He's Quake Master at the end of the day, after having streamed so many games. I'm just gonna wait and see if this is enough damage to attack for game. But I don't think so. Or yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, my calculations are off. If all of this connects, then this is the game. And Sanakan wins the match with Vayu Turbo, moving on to the grand finals of this tournament. Crazy games. Was able to pull it back, and yeah, this just been an awesome match. Awesome to see this, and Cat Deck in the top 4 of this tournament, still really good. Yeah, able to win still a nice prize with that top cut mat. And that ultimate rare card. So I think they still need to play for top 4 because one player gets ultimate rare, pulling the rug though. So yeah, let's see if the other match is concluded yet. Yeah, seems like it. So we're gonna have to wait for the tournament organizer to see if they're going to. They're going to play right away. And Squishy Bear already hosted. Alright, so we're going to go into the final match right away. I'm gonna be spectating this match, and seems like it's fresh Earl from the earlier match. So we're going to watch DD Stun versus Vayu Turbo, and I'm very interested to see how this is going to work out. I'm usually a very big supporter of Vayu Turbo, going to try to hide that fact in this commentating match. But DD Stun, definitely an outlier that you don't see that often, and is an interesting deck to see if they can grab this PlayStation 5. But the other prize is nothing to scoff at. Getting a first edition Elemental Hero Gaia secret rare in addition to Top Cut Mat is going to be great. So yeah. Well, the stream is watching. I'm not too sure about the organization, but for stream sake, you guys can start and have a great match. Definitely ENT Collectibles, PlayStation 5 on the line, grand prize, and that's a big prize to win. I believe the entry fee was $25, so winning 20 times that, plus the Top Cut Mat, plus a trophy, That's going to be great. I think you're going to be very happy winning that, and one of these players is going to be able to do so. So yeah, without further ado, we're already started with the first match, and yeah, Sanakan starting this this match by by a little bit of an issue. Has to put back this this draw because Fresh Earl misclicked end turn. Could have sharked this, but decides not to. Decides to keep this match fair, and Fresh Earl setting their first card. I don't think this is something we usually see in the finals, but yeah, might be a little bit nervous. A lot of things on the line, like we already said. So long tournament. I think these players can definitely look back on a great tournament, but also still have very big nerves going into this final match to finish out this tournament. And Fresh Earl starting with 3 sets, special summoning that Guardian Aeatos again that we saw earlier, and a normal summon of Thunder King Ryo. Very, very strong start. So what is Sanakan able to put in against this? Sets a monster, sets back row and another one. Alright, so this is gonna be pretty strong. Macrocosmos being flipped, alright, in the end phase. Guardian Aeatos or Thunder King probably going to try to attack over this, plus the DD Survivor has a lot of pressure already, Fresh Earl. If there's something like a Mirror Force, I would guess there's something like a Dark Bribe behind for Fresh Earl. We do see the interaction of the Mirror Force, and the Dark Bribe is there for Fresh Earl, like I predicted. Macrocosmos going to banish both of these cards. Players not really noticing that these traps should not be in the graveyard. Yeah, perhaps should be messaging these players. Actually can't see my mouse anymore, so I'm going to go out of full screen mode. Hope that no, it actually doesn't fix it. All right, so somebody else can tell these players. So Blackwing Sirocco attacking over this Thunder King. Both of these sets spells and traps, not battle interaction. And special summoning out the Gale. Yeah, definitely doing that after the Thunder King's already gone, but wasn't able to negate it though. Maybe Sanakan is not aware of this. Activating Torrential Tribute, gonna get rid of both the Blackwing monsters and their own Guardian Aeatos, but the DD Survivor going to be coming back. But still the card advantage for Sanakan. Even though Fresh Earl was the one who started. No set extra spell or traps for Sanakan, so interested to see what they have in their hand. Definitely something like Kai's or Dark Dragon can get stuck in the hand here. Sanakan already really low life because of all that pressure that Fresh Earl was able to mount very, very early. And this might just be a really, really quick game 1. And Sanakan would need a lot to pull it back then. Sets another card. Dimensional Prison, just not a great card in these sorts of matchups. Is used a lot, but on the DD Survivor, just it just puts it away for a turn. Activating the Mystical Space Typhoon on the new set. And Sanakan just decides to scoop it up there. It wasn't enough attack for a game, but probably saw the writing on the wall for an extra normal summon and wasn't able to interact with that. So just decided to draw one, see what the next top deck was, and go into siding. So this is a great matchup where Dust Tornadoes can be sided in to get rid of those Macrocosmoses, but needs to keep in mind that those Dark Bribes can definitely make sure that it doesn't go on through. Also, we've seen Fresh Earl Heavy Storm for 3 in the top 8 round because the opponent thought that Fresh Earl just sets a lot of back row, wouldn't run Heavy Storm maybe, and got punished hard for that. And yeah, Fresh Earl still deciding what to do, taking a little bit longer than Senecan to side. Via Turbo, maybe not an easy matchup for them to side against. Already using 6 cards if they are maxing out on Dimensional Fissure and Macrocosmos to banish all the monsters. With Senecan having a graveyard-based deck, it's already a difficult matchup to win here. But yeah, maybe there's something more Fresh Earl can do. Not really too sure on the side deck of this sort of build. I know the top 8 deck list, but not going to look at it because I really want to be surprised by what Fresh Earl is going to do. And in case Senecan is watching, don't want to give anything away from Fresh Earl's strategy until the tournament is over, obviously. And I'm very curious what the chat thinks. Last game with the Rescue Cat deck and the Vayu Turbo, the predictions were for the Vayu Turbo deck. What do you guys think now is going to win? Is the DD Stun deck going to be able to push that advantage this much again versus the Vayu Turbo deck? Or are you expecting Senecan to pull this one out, reverse sweep Fresh Earl, and take game 2 and 3 to win that PlayStation 5? Senecan starting off strong with the Allure of Darkness. Yeah, definitely going to banish stuff. Actually, if Senecan is on the return from the different dimension, that might be really strong in this matchup, because all of a sudden a lot of stuff is going to be banished. Dark Prepper dumping that Vayu and Sirocco in the graveyard while there's no Macrocosmos or Dimensional Fissure active. And yeah, that's going to be very, very strong for Senecan. And Fresh Earl not slamming cards down quite yet, still thinking about what they're going to do as their first play. Last game they definitely set 4 cards, making it very difficult for Senecan to interact with, especially because of that Guardian Eatos and Thunder King Ryo. Dimensional Prison still in the deck, able to get rid of that Thunder King. And yeah, have to see what Fresh Earl has in the back row, but I can imagine there's something like a Macrocosmos that would be able to interact with this. Kai is targeting the set Starlight Road, and if there's a Dark Arm, there it is, a Dark Arm Dragon. Has exactly, and it's the game. This is the fastest game I've ever seen in a finals. That was over so quickly. The Dark Arm Dragon came out. I'm not even sure how much damage to push that was. 23 plus the 51, and then 17. That would be 68. Not quite enough if there was just those 3 cards with the Armed Wing coming out, obviously with the Vayu in the graveyard, but yeah, probably thought couldn't take it back. And that's a very, very quick game. And now Fresh Earl and Senecan are going to start the final game of the final match of the tournament. 1 game left to decide who gets this PlayStation 5, the top cut mat, and the trophy. Both players will want to have this prize, obviously, but only one can take it home. Who will it be? Let me know in the comments. Who do you think is going to win? Let me know right now. And the game's gonna start. Alright. Fresh Earl definitely going to be starting. Not going to accidentally press the end turn button again. Has the set, has the dimensional fissure now. And another set. Definitely multiple back rows and a set monster. Didn't start off as strong with the Guardian Eatos like last time. And Sanacan going with their own set and just one set spell or trap card. Myth going with the Vayu Turbo prediction yet again. Definitely drop it. That was super fast. And yeah, I'll be silently rooting still for this Vayu Turbo deck. Definitely. And Zabuma rooting for Fresh. Same as Alex the Man earlier. But Fresh is their teammate, they said. So I guess that that's the reason why. Summoning out another Gravekeeper Spy, attacking into this set. Let's see what this is. It's a hamster. Ooh, and that's going to deal 600 damage to Fresh Earl. First blood. Actually, curious, ENT Collectibles, are we going into... is this match timed or is this untimed? Are they able to play it out as long as they want? So one more monster set for Fresh Earl. Going to pop the Dimensional Fissure. If no Macrocosmos is flipped, then this Raikou effect is going to mill cards into the graveyard. Fresh Earl probably aware of this and thinking about what going to do. But no, it's going to be destroyed. So these cards are going to be sent to the graveyard. 3 Dark Monsters, that is big. Could be another Dark Arm Dragon. If that's the case, that is going to be massive. Dark Arm Dragon coming out again. How do I predict these things? That is amazing. Yeah, and the Dark Arm Dragon destroying the DB War Lady. No interaction from the back row. Yeah, not popping the Gravekeeper Spy, but going for the Starlight Road. Spy needs to still be on the field. Yes, very much so. And if you guys enjoy the stream, definitely go to the Facebook page of the organizer, ENT Collectibles. They can post their links here in the comments. And subscribe to their YouTube as well to follow all of their content, because definitely shout out to this organizer of this amazing tournament. And Fresh Earl admits defeat. It is over. Sanacan pulls it back. Vayu Turbo winning yet another match. And that is it. PlayStation 5 going to Sanacan. GG's to both players. Fresh Earl can look back onto a great tournament. Going to be winning that Elemental Hero Gaia. But that PlayStation 5 definitely going to Sanacan and the Vayu Turbo. Wins the match just like in my tournament. And yeah, that is going to be the stream. I want to thank you guys all for watching. Definitely excited for this tournament, and hopefully you guys will like my stream, subscribe to the channel. I will be posting deck lists for the HRC series that I organized earlier this weekend, and obviously there will be more coming out in HRC tournaments in the future, and stay tuned for that. So for me, it's been a really long day. I've loved having you guys. Thank you so much for watching, but I'm going to stop the stream here and have a